continue to work on our drop down. This is the basics of report definition rule. So we have populated our drop down. Coming back to our drop down, we have populated our drop down using, okay, just yeah. So we have populated our drop down using clipboard page by executing an activity and using report definition rules. So what is the disadvantage of doing like this? What is the disadvantage or what of using an activity or using a report definition rule to populate a drop down? I'll tell you now. Okay. So look at here. For our testing purpose, to better understand the to better gain the knowledge of how it is being disadvantage of using a drop down with with report definition rule activity, I am going to take the state drop down from here, which has been configured. I'm going to configure it back for the activity for our better understanding, like clipboard page. So now this drop down will be populated by executing browse states activity. I'll show you through the tracer how it is executing. Now save this. I am copying this drop down along with the configuration. I am also making it available in the personal vehicle information screen within the same drop down. See, I am going to add this within the same drop down. Just give me 1 minute. Within the same work object, sorry, not drop down. I did not copy it or what? Somewhere around here I have added. Okay. So look at here. Now in my workflow, I have customer details screen. I have personal vehicle information screen. So for our better understanding, I made this trade drop down which is getting populated from activity by using an activity. I have also made it available in vehicle information screen. Means one work object you create, within one work object this state drop down is available 2 times. Okay, so I am going to run the flow now. Begin insurance flow, and here I am going to run this. Okay, before I run this, I am going to make sure to open the tracer to see for the drop down population purpose activity is being executed or not. Okay, I'll tell you how to do the settings for the tracer. So tracer I have opened. I am going to run the flow. See, when I run the flow, customer details form will be loaded. When the customer details form is loading, state drop down is getting loaded. Now the state drop down, when it is getting loading, it should have executed. It would have executed an activity with obj browse method. Activity got executed. Can you see here? Activity executed or not with obj browse? So I am creating a work object wherein which I have a drop down which is being populated from the table using an activity. The activity got executed for the first screen where the drop down is available. This is clear? Now I am going to clear out the tracer for better understanding, minimize it. I will submit this screen. Next screen, do you have state drop down? So it should be populated, right? It should be loaded from, again it should be loaded from table. Now if it is again loading from table, activity got executed. So 2 times activity got executed. Suppose if I use it in the another screen, if I include one more screen in the work object, so for that screen also I have used state drop down. So will it execute activity again? Okay. So now here state drop down data is common across these 3 screens or different? Is it common or different data? It's a common data. Okay. So the data is constant for all the 3 screens. How far it is constant? How long it will be? It would be constant. Time. With respect to time. How long this data is constant? I am using my application. I built my application today. I used it after 10 years. Will this data be constant or changing? Not sure. So for next 6 months it is constant. All the states constant data, it will change. How frequently this data will change? We cannot say. Maybe 6 months, 1 year, I'm not sure. 50 years also it may not change, I'm not sure. Okay, so the data is constant in this situation. Data is not changing. Same data you are populating in screen 1, screen 2, screen 3. Still you are executing for the same data, you are executing activity many times. Okay, so keep this aside. I'll tell you one real time example. Okay, suppose I'm just going to log into a banking application wherein which I am requesting for the interest rate of the personal loan. Okay, I'll go to one of the screen interest rates where I'm going to click on personal loan interest rate. It will display interest rate is 14.5 percentage. So once you click on the link interest rate for personal loan, it will go to database. Okay, in the database it will verify for the personal loan what is the interest rate. 14.5 it will bring and display to you. So I've searched today. Okay, similar to me there will be n number of requesters who are going to request for the same data. So in a day there will be millions of customers who are going to look at the request for the interest rate of the personal loan. So for everyone what it has to do, it has to execute an activity. Activity is going to communicate with the database. For the first time when you are execute activity, communicate with the database, get the data, display in the UI 14.5. Suppose again you are only checking again one more time, you are clicking, what will happen? It will execute the activity, it will go to database and display it. Similar to you, there will be another users who are going to log into the server. So they will also request for the same. What will happen? It will execute the activity again for them. It will go to database and bring up the interest rate and display on the screen. So now this interest rate, 14.5 percentage of interest rate, how frequently this will get updated in a bank? How frequently it will be updated? Maybe whenever it might be 6 months, once in 6 months or once in 12 months, whenever the Reserve Bank is going to update these things. Okay, based on that they are going to change this. But in the situation, if you take today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, like this in a month, something like this, for a long term period the data is constant. The data is constant, and whenever any requester is going to request for this data, the same data you have to supply for everyone. To supply the same data to multiple requesters or one requester, or maybe within a work object, maybe a number of times, different screens, same data to serve, what you are doing is you are executing the rule again and again, and you are hitting the database again and again, and you are fetching the data back from the database. Okay, so now look at here. So now here is requester 1, suppose requester 2, or work updates you can consider, or requesters, whatever it is. Okay, here go ahead, requesters 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So now here is your PRPC rule that you are executing. Okay, the rule that you are executing, PRPC rule you are going to execute. Suppose you are going to execute an activity. So you are executing an activity with the logic of browse from table or fetch from the table. I can say fetch from table. You are going to fetch from the table whenever you request for interest loan. So now it is going to hit the database table. One of the table is there wherein which you have interest rate table. So here, okay, here is the table for interest rates. Table. So here you go ahead, interest rate is available. Suppose for personal loan it is available 14.5%, something like this. Okay, so now here is your clipboard. It is coming to PRPC, means it will come to clipboard. Okay, this is clipboard. See, whenever a requester is going to request for the data, now requester is going to, okay, this requester and second requester, third requester, fourth requester, all of these people. So requester 1 is going to request for interest rate. of personal loan. Similarly, so every one of these people are going to request for the interest rate of the, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 requests are being made. So for request 1, it will go ahead and hit the activity. So activity will be executed how many times? 4 times. So now it is going to hit the database. How many times it will hit the database? For each requester it is going to hit once. Means how many times? The table will have multiple hits. DB table will have, in this case, 4 hits. That is n times. Okay. So the activity got executed n times. So how many requesters are going to log in? N number of requesters. N number of requesters log in and request for the interest rate. It is going to execute the activity n number of times and it is going to hit the database n number of times. Now the data has been fetched. For each request, it has to create a clipboard page on the server. For each request, it will have to create a clipboard page. On the clipboard now, interest rate I am going to put on a page called interest rate page. So here 14.5 it has got 14.5 for the first requester it has put 14.5. For the next requester again the page will be created on the clipboard. For the next requester page will be created and this is again 14.5. So for another requester again one more page will be available on server clipboard. This is not individual clipboard. Okay, server clipboard. So here you go ahead and here you'll be having 14.5 and here you will be having 14.5. So like this, as you go ahead and increase the number of requests. So for each request it is going to create. So now how many clipboards will be created? Clipboard pages will be created. N pages will be created on server's clipboard. So as a result, what will happen? Size of the, okay, so duplicate data, correct or not? Duplicate data on clipboard and size is increased. Size is increased. So the duplicate data is available on the clipboard now. Size of the clipboard is drastically, it will increase. So like this, there will be millions of customers who are going to request for the interest rates in a day. So as a result, I'll have to execute the rule million number of times, and the database will be hit million number of times, and the clipboard will have the same data again and again on pages, and the size of the clipboard will drastically increase. Okay. So, but here in this situation, data is constant. So the data which I am giving for one requester of one work object or one page is same across everyone else. So I want a solution for this in such a way that if the data is constant for longer time, suppose you log in today for the first requester, I am going to execute the role. I'll hit the database once. I'll get the data and put it on the clipboard. So next time when you are going to access for the request for the same data, you or someone else is going to request for the same data, instead of directly executing this role, I will look at the clipboard first. So for the second requester onwards, I am going to look at the clipboard. I am just going to look at the clipboard from second requester, and for third requester I am going to look at the clipboard. Fourth requester also I am going to look at the clipboard directly. First requester will go with the process of, yes, so first requester is going to perform the activity of getting the data from the table. Where can I choose this color? Something. So for the first requester, just give me a minute. This is fine. Okay. So for the first requester only, I am going to hit the run the rule, and the rule is going to For the first request, I am going to run the rule, and the rule is going to hit the database and get the data and put it on the clipboard. From next requester onwards, what I am going to do is, or same requester again, second time, I am going to look at the clipboard first. Instead of executing this, I will look at the clipboard first, whether interest rate is already populated on clipboard or not. Suppose if the data is already populated on clipboard, I will directly copy the data from the clipboard and make it available to second requester. Similarly to everyone. Okay. So as a result of this, what will happen? If I am going to implement like this, if I am going to design the system like this, what are the advantages? What are the advantages of designing system like this? Only for the first request, you are going to execute the rule, hit the database table and get the data and create a clipboard page. Next request or next requesters, I am going to copy the data from directly from the clipboard and make it available to someone else or to some other work objects. So what is the advantage of this kind of implementation? What would be the advantage?
Performance would be good, speed would be good.
Okay, performance is the last point. Before performance, what are the points that are making the performance to be improved? That you need to identify and tell me. What is the first point?
The minimum hit to
Number of
database,
times.
so we will not.
Yeah. Yeah, number of
We will
times.
not hit the database again and again.
The rule is executing is set to 1. Next, what is the next one? Number of times table or source. I can say data source. See, it's not always a table. It can be from a file. It can be from a service request. It can be anything. Data source. The number of times the database or the source. Data source is being hit is reduced to 1. I minimized it actually. Okay. What is the third one? Yeah. Number of pages on clipboard came down to 1. So as a result, what happened? Size of clipboard is reduced. As a result of all these, what happened?
Response to the screen would be quick.
Yeah, that's what we'll talk about now with respect to performance of application.
Yes.
Got improved. Performance of the application got improved. So this is what the design I want. In the kind of situations like this, I want this type of design. So now for going back to our state dropdown. State dropdown is used in screen 1, screen 2. So suppose this is an insurance application. This is an insurance application. I am processing one application. My colleague also will log into same server. He will have bunch of applications in his hand. He will make the data entry to process the applications. He will create work objects. Today I log in morning 9 o'clock. So till my lunchtime or till evening, I will process maybe 10 applications or 12 applications on my own. So I will have to create 12 applications. All 12 applications I have to choose one of the state for all the work objects. Within a work object, I can have multiple times I have to choose state, maybe populate state. So within a work object, you are getting state drop down maybe n number of times the same data. Or today if I am processing 10 work objects, 10 work objects will be having again and again, right? Similar to me, there is another requester who is going to log in to the system. My colleague is going to log in. He will have a bunch of requests. He has to process the new insurance policies. He is going to create his own work objects. For him also same case. Within a work object, it can have n number of times, or multiple work objects, it will be having n number of times. So among all the requesters, we will be getting it n number of times. Same data we are populating. Same states for everyone, or same countries for everyone. So now in this situation, in our application also, what is happening? N number of times rule is executing. Activity or report definition, both, either of these. Executing in the background, and it is hitting the data source. It can be anything. Database in this situation. It is hitting the data source multiple times. It is creating clipboard page again and again and again for each work object, for each thread it is creating, for each process it is making it available. Something like this for each thread. So now as a result, the size of the clipboard is being increased. So now I want to redesign the system such that I want to hit only for the first requester of the first request in the day or some type. So once I get the data, I'll put it on the clipboard. Once I put it on the clipboard, for the next request, next work object, or the next requester, whoever it is, the data has to be shared. That kind of design I want now. Okay, so as a result, what will happen? The number of times you are executing the rule will be decreased to 1, and the number of times you are hitting the data sources will be reduced to 1, and the size of the clipboard, number of pages on the clipboard is reduced to 1 as a shared page, and the size of the clipboard will be decreased. As a result, finally the performance of the application will be good. Okay, so this is the design I want. So here you are going to look for a what? Here we are looking for a shared page. We are looking for a shared page. So you want a shared page now, using which only once you load the page, next time onwards I am going to copy the data from the page to the other requesters, or other requests of same requester, or other processes of the same work object, other screens of the same work object. So this can be achieved in gRPC by using data page, by using a page called data page. So data page, now you define data page on your own. What is that? You can give the definition. What is the definition of the data page you want to give? From these points, what is database? Simply in one word, if you want to say database is what?
Database is basically a placeholder where we are storing the transactional data which would be needed again and again by the application.
Yeah, that's fine. It's one word. If you want to say database is equal to shared page. Database is a shared page on server's clipboard, which will be loaded, which gets loaded once, and which can be shared across multiple screens within a work object, or it can be shared across multiple work objects of a requester. I log in, I'll create multiple work objects. It can be shared, or it can be shared across multiple requesters, those who log on to server, single server. Okay, so this is the data page, is a shared page on server's clipboard, which can be shared in different ways. What are the different ways? First way is, within a work object n number of times you can share a data page, or across multiple work objects of a single requester session you can share the work object, or across multiple requesters who log on to same server you can share. So now the point to discuss here is, what do you mean by same server? So those who are already working, it might be very much clear for you, but those who are not working in real time, it will be difficult for you to understand. Now I'll explain what is same server. So look at here. Suppose, let's take generic example. Suppose here are the multiple requesters, those who are going to log into the application. So I'll tell you from a real-time example. We have a Flipkart application, just an example I'm telling. It is not related to gRPC, general common. So Flipkart application will be deployed on one application server, correct? My application server is available. Flipkart is there on this application server. Flipkart app server. Application of the Flipkart is installed on this server. Any requester is going to log into Flipkart will be redirected to this server. That is fine. Okay. So let me make it small and simple. Okay. So generally, on an average, so just an example I'm telling, 1000 requesters are going to be on the server per minute. Per minute, on an average, 1000 requesters are on the server. This is okay, fine. Server can bear it. So now Flipkart has introduced something called some big sale day. Okay, one day, 4 hours big sale with big discounts and all. So now per minute, on an average, how many requesters will be there on server? It will be millions. So business cannot handle the situations like this. So okay, up to some extent users are there on the server, that is okay for the business. Server can bear it. But if a lot of congestion is there, a lot of traffic is there for the server, so millions of customers are going to log in, one application server cannot handle this. So now what Flipkart will do is, so they're going to introduce multiple servers they are going to maintain, 1 to n. So Flipkart application will be installed on multiple servers, server 1, server 2, 3 and so on, 10 servers or 20, it depends. Now when user logs in www.flipkart.com, he has to be redirected to one of the server. Okay, for that you will be having in between another server. What is that? What is that server? Load balancer, load balancing server. See, whenever a requester is going to type the URL www.flipkart.com, requester will come here. Okay, first he is going to hit. There will be another servers. I am not going to discuss all those things. Load balancing server. From load balancing server, it is going to balance the requesters to redirect to appropriately to one of the application server. Requester 2, server 1, requester 3. Okay, go to this server. Requester 4, go to this server. So million requesters will be divided across all the servers. Now the traffic on the servers will be less, but you will not feel as an end user, I am going to log into server 2, server 3, I don't know. So like this, the design will be done in real time. This will be pretty much useful for everyone. Okay, now see the database, the shared page. I want to share across multiple requesters. You can share it, but you can share it across multiple requesters who are on the same server. Suppose if I have a data page, okay, for the state drop down, requester 1 and requester 2, that database will be shared because these two people are on server 1. That cannot be shared to requester 3 because requester 3 is on different server. So that is the data page you sharing across multiple requesters on a single node, means same node, same server. That is the meaning of same node. This is clear, everyone? So now databases are introduced in BRBC in order to make it available as a shared page. Okay, and database, how to populate the database, I will show you all those things. Okay, look at here now. This is a data page. You can create under date. Okay, I will tell you point by point. Data page is a shared page on server's clipboard. Data page can be created under data model category. Name I am giving something. Data page name must start with D underscore. You can edit it. I am going to remove D underscore. Okay, try to create it. What happened? Compilation error. Database name should start with D underscore or declare underscore. Data pages were called as declare pages in Pega 6 and before versions. So that time the name must start with declare underscore. Now database is also same concept. Its name should start with D underscore or declare underscore. If you upgrade declare base to database also, that is fine. Declare underscore is acceptable. Okay. So database or shared pages or server's clipboard, database name must start with D underscore. It can be created under data model category. So now a data page can be available as a page or list type. Page type means database directly holds the properties and values. Page under, you can have multiple things. List type means, did we see any list type so far? What is the list type we have seen? PX results.
PX results.
Means this database is going to hold the data in multiple pages. Suppose database name is D underscore XYZ. It is going to hold D underscore XYZ of 1, D underscore XYZ of 2. Like this, multiple records of data. If you want to hold on a data page, you need list type data page. If you want only one single record, then you need page type data page. This is clear. Database will be available in two types. One is list type, another one is page type. You will refer it to some class. Page or page list you will define for some class, right? Same way you will refer to some class. Now, database are read only. Up to Pega 6 only read only. From Pega 7 onwards, read only editable. So why it is read only? Interest rate is 14.5% I have given. In the downstream of the program, one of the developer has taken page.property equal to page.d underscore xyz dot interest rate equal to 12. He has updated in the business logic. Is it acceptable? So you should prevent users from updating the data, deleting the data. Database no one should delete. So that's why database are read-only pages, meaning that this page cannot be deleted, this cannot be updated. Okay, data pages, read-only data pages will be created on the clipboard under data pages. Now there are editable data pages introduced from Pega 7. Editable data pages will be created on clipboard under user pages. You will see user pages. So if you go ahead and select one of the data page, predefined, edit, you should be able to edit the data page. Come to the data pages and open one of the data page. Hey, come on, what is this? Nothing is coming up. Okay, edit, save. What happened? But if you go to the same thing here, if you do the same thing here, okay, there is no editable property first of all. It is allowing. Previously, under database, it is not allowing. So database of type read only cannot be editable even from the clipboard, or you cannot go ahead and do property set, that is not okay. Okay, so like this, database read only pages cannot be edited, cannot be deleted by anyone on the clip from the clipboard directly or using page remover. Suppose if I want to delete this, I can right click delete, I can delete it because it is editable. If you go to read only data pages, you have delete option. Read only database cannot be deleted. Okay, so database are shared pages on server's clipboard. So those can be created under data model category. Name should start with D underscore. Database will be available in two formats, page and list, and data pages are read only pages from Pega 7 onwards. So for some business requirements, Pega has introduced editable data pages. Read only data pages will be created on the clipboard under data pages, which cannot be edited, which cannot be deleted. Editable databases will be created and available on the clipboard under user pages. Up to this clear, everyone? Next point. There is the scope of the data page. So scope of the data page is thread, requester and node. So scope is going to limit the sharing capability of the data page. It is going to limit the sharing capability. Okay. Suppose you have variables, you remember local variables, global variables. Local variables means within the function defined, scope of the variable is within the function. Global variables, scope of the throughout the application. Like that, scope of the data page is going to identify or limit the sharing capability. How far you can share this? Thread scope means the data page sharing is limited to one work object. Within that work object only it will be available to share. Means I am creating a work object. First screen, second screen I am using data page. Thread scope, the data page will be shared. Whatever the data I have populated using a data page for state drop down in screen 1 will be shared to the drop down of screen 2. I am creating one more work object 2, database will be created again. It will not be shared. So when the database scope is thread, so here you go ahead. Thread scope means data page can be shared within thread. Means you can understand like work object, within work object, but not with other work objects. But not with other work objects. Now next scope of the database is requester. So when the database scope is requester, data page can be shared among multiple work objects of a single requester session, but not with other requesters or sessions. See, what is the meaning of database? If the database scope is requester, if you create a data page with the scope of requester, this is available within the requester session across multiple work objects. What do you mean by requester session? Suppose I log into system now at 9 o'clock. Okay, I am going to log off for the lunch at 1 o'clock. That is one session. Suppose if I log in back again, database will be created because I am in a new session. So data page of scope requester can be shared among multiple work objects. From morning 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, I create n number of work objects. First screen of first work object, whatever the data page got created, that will be shared across all the work objects within all the work objects again. Okay. Requester scope means database can be shared across multiple work objects of a single requester session, but not with any other requesters or other sessions. Now, database scope node means database can be shared across what? Shared across or among multiple requesters who log on to same node. You can understand like server, but not with other requesters of other node. This is the scope identifies. See, I told you database cannot be deleted, read only. Editable database you can delete. Read only database cannot be deleted. So if you want to delete a read only database, the only way is on the data page you have to specify the time limit. I'll give 1 day, something like this, 0 hour 0 minute 0 second. Suppose the database is created today, so 23 hours 59 minutes 59 seconds completes, database will be deleted. When it will be created again? When the next requester comes, it will be created. Okay, suppose I have given database time limit for reload strategy of the database is refresh strategy of the database is 30 minutes. So requester has logged in 9:30. Okay, created database, used it, done. 9:30 database created. What time database will be deleted? 30 minutes I have given. 9:30, 9 o'clock 30 minutes database has been created. When it will be deleted automatically? 9:59 it will be deleted once it completes. It reaches 9:59, oh sorry, 10 o'clock, immediately it will be deleted. When it will be created again? When a new requester comes for the same, then it will be created again. Okay, so that is what the refresh strategy. You can also look at here. So other than this, see, if you want to get the data onto a page or page list, so far we have done activity, we have got it from the table, and then executed activity, property set, you have added data onto page, UI, you have added data onto page, obj browse, you have added data onto page or page list. See, if you want to get the data onto page or page list, you need to execute something, either UI or you need to execute an activity of the property set obj browse. Similarly, data page also, if you want the data to be available or populated onto data page, you need to define a source. There should be another role which has to be sourced for the data page. Now that source can be, look at here, the source can be connector, means you are going to make a service call with another request, another application. Leave about it, we'll discuss later. Now it can be an activity, means you can call an activity, using an activity you will fetch the data, get the data from somewhere, put it on data page. Or it can be from report definition rule. Report definition rule will execute, it will get the data, that data will be kept on database. Database requires a source to populate the data onto it. So here the database sources can be report definition activity, which we have learned. We are going to work on it. And other things are data transform. There is another option called connector. One more option is there, lookup for the page type data pages. We'll discuss all those things going forward. So if you want to populate the data on data page, you need to just assign a rule for the data page, add a rule into the data page as a source, activity, report definition. Either of these will execute and get the data, put it on the data page, make it available on the clipboard. That will be shared. Okay, so now this is about data page. Let me summarize all the points once. 5 more minutes I'll take. Now data page is a shared page on server's clipboard. Data page can be created under data model category. Data page name must start with D underscore. Data pages were called as declare pages in previous version, where name must start with declare underscore. Okay, and data page can be of two types, page type or list type. If you are holding single page data, single row data, page type, multiple records you are fetching, list type. Data pages are read only, meaning that data page cannot be updated or deleted. These read only data pages will be created on clipboard under data pages. Editable databases are introduced from Pega 7. Editable databases will be created on clipboard under user pages. Those can be edited, deleted, modified like a normal pages, but still sharing will be available. So databases will have three different scopes: thread, requester, and node level scope. So meaning that the scope of the database is going to limit the sharing capability of the database accordingly. If the scope of the database is thread, means database is available to be shared within the work object but not between other work objects. Database scope requester means database is available to share among multiple work objects of a single requester session but not with other requesters or other sessions of the same requester. Database scope node means the database can be shared across multiple requesters who log on to the same node. So databases can be populated. You can get the data onto data page by executing some of the source rules like report definition or activity or connector or data transform or lookup. Okay, lookup list. We will see all those things later. Now database can be refreshed from the server by using time strategy. Okay, you can give, and you can verify a condition. Even though if the condition is met, database will not be refreshed even the time is met. As a developer, you can click on a button, clear data page. As a developer, open the data page rule, go to load management, click on clear data page. Data page will be deleted from the clipboard. This is about the refresh strategy of the data page. This is clear. So this is about data pages, and the purpose of data page is sharing. So other options we'll see later. Any doubts, any questions, anything you did not understand? or exactly what is the business requirement where you go for data page. What is the business requirement where you need to choose data page? When the data is constant on the server, when the data is constant to be used within PRPC, which is not changing frequently, that data is being requested by multiple people, are being used multiple times. So I do not want to run the rule again and again. I do not want to hit the database or data source again and again. I will go for data pages. This is the business requirement. So this and all about basics of data page. So we'll go ahead and work on this tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow we'll work on data page. For today you can wind up, and the document what we have, data pages notes, is available on the website, all these points, everything. Okay, sorry, what is it? Okay, so this is available on the notes in the website. Just check it. If it is not there, let me know, but it will be there for sure. Okay, notes, you take it from there. We'll just go ahead and again recollect the points tomorrow for first 5 minutes, then we'll work on it. Okay, you can wind up for today. Thank you for joining, everyone.